What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to Vapefog Reviews and Tutorials. Today I want to discuss a little bit of vape news with you guys. Some of you out there that are thinking about quitting cigarettes and starting to vape or use electronic cigarettes may have some concerns over some of the articles that you might be seeing, maybe even some YouTube videos saying that electronic cigarettes aren't safe, and in some cases you even see that they're supposedly worse than real cigarettes. I'm going to go find a couple of web pages here and share these with you guys, and just show you what kind of BS this actually is. Okay guys, so here's an article I found at the Huffington Post, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Huffington Post, but they're pretty much like a lot of other popular news organizations. Though this article isn't really that bad. The article is "Liquid Death from E-Cigarettes." You've got a long way to go, baby. This article is explaining how some people have been poisoned by nicotine exposure, and even some adults and some kids have died as a result of being exposed to nicotine. Now, if you're a DIYer, and that's a do-it-yourself, you make your own e-juice and stuff, you do handle liquid nicotine, and it can be dangerous if you get it on your skin or something like that. Obviously, you don't want to drink it or any of that, but there has been some cases where some little kids, I think there was a little girl in Israel a year or so ago, maybe less, I don't know. She got a hold of her mom's e-liquid, and it didn't have a child safety cap on it. And obviously, to a child, it smelled like candy, and she drank it, and she died. But cases like that are very rare. In the United States, I've never heard of anybody dying as a result of electronic cigarette. I just haven't heard of any cases like that in the United States, or anywhere else for that matter. It's been exposure to nicotine, and it's either by drinking it or getting a large amount of it on your skin, something like that. But anyway, I want to go down here into the article right here, and I'm reading right here. It says, the data on e-cigarettes is still uncertain and incomplete, but the weight of the published literature suggests that the vast majority of users are already smokers. Okay, so that's somebody like me. I was a smoker for 27 years. And I bought what's called like a cig-alike. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I'm going to hold it up right here like this. Okay, so that's a cig-alike. And I bought that like 2 years ago, and yeah, it didn't help me at all. It didn't have a throat hit, it didn't produce enough vapor, and I went back to smoking cigarettes immediately. So I went and I bought an SBD starter kit, which is a variable voltage and variable wattage device, and that actually got me off the cigarettes for good. It's been over 4 months now. Started April 14th, 2014. It's now August 3rd, and I'm still not smoking. I have no desire for smoking. I get the nicotine that I want. I'm actually cutting the nicotine down as I go. Those of you out there that are new to vaping, you can get your nicotine in pretty much any dose that you want, especially if you make it yourself. But if most of it that you buy from an e-cig store or a vape shop or something like that, your local vendor or an online vendor, you get anywhere from 0 to 6 to 12 to 18 to 24 to 36 milligrams of nicotine in your juice, and that equates to basically like a 1.3 would be, or 13% would be like a Marlboro cigarette, which is 1.3 milligrams per cigarette. So it's pretty much the same thing, and that's what makes you want to smoke cigarettes anyway. For most people, it's the simulation of holding it between your fingers, putting your mouth and smoking. You get used to doing that, but the nicotine is what keeps you coming back. So anyway, I decided when I found this article right here, the reason why I found it is because I've been seeing people talking about e-cigarettes are bad for you, and They're way worse. In some cases, I've heard people say that they're way worse than smoking and all this kind of stuff. And this is absolute lies. Okay, so if we go to Google, we type in how many people have died from e-cigarettes, this is what you get. Okay, that's where I found the liquid death from e-cigarettes story. So I haven't seen anything here that says that anyone has actually died from the vapor off of an e-cigarette. In fact, I've seen quite the opposite. There was a video on YouTube, and I forget the name of the man, but he's from Canada. He was a smoker, and he had just quit smoking about a week prior to being in a car accident. And the car accident was bad enough that he had to have a chest x-ray. So he saved that chest x-ray. He still continued to not smoke, and he vaped instead. So he stuck to it. And 5 years later, in 2011, he had another chest x-ray done here in the States. And then he did a side-by-side comparison in his video, and you could see the dramatic difference of how his lungs have healed up as a result of vaping and quitting smoking. So that's enough to sell me on it right there. But anyway, so here you go. You're looking at how many people have died from e-cigarettes, okay? I don't see any. There are cases where people have died from exposure to liquid nicotine. That's people that do like DIY, do it yourself. They make their own e-juices, and you can get the liquid nicotine on you. Like I buy it in 100 milligram, and so it's extremely potent. But you just have to be very careful with it. And obviously, you don't want to drink it. But there was a case, I think, in Israel a year or so ago, where a little girl got a hold of her mother's e-juice, and it smelled like candy, and she drank it, and she died. And that's tragic. But now the e-cigarette industry is becoming a lot safer. There's child safety caps from just about all vendors now. There's the e-cig industry regulated itself over the last few years and no longer sell to minors. So if you're a minor, you can't buy anything related to e-cigarettes. Then you also have the juice companies through the FDA. The juice companies are starting to list their ingredients and stuff. So, and that's for their flavorings, because we already know about propylene glycol, which is in that's the flavor carrier in your e-juice. And most e-juices are an 80-20 blend, which is propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin. But propylene glycol, for those of you that don't know, has been around since the 50s, and it's used in asthma inhalers and all kinds of stuff today. So apparently it's okay to inhale. If it's in an asthma inhaler, it's okay to inhale the vapor of it. Of course, that is burning it, so it's a little different. But anyway, vegetable glycerin, okay? The vegetable glycerin is in food products. It's safe for human consumption by the FDA. We don't really know that much about vaporizing it and inhaling it like that, but so far I haven't heard anybody heard about anybody dying from it. Then you have your nicotine. Nicotine is similar to something like caffeine. It's addictive, but according to the FDA, it's relatively harmless. So then you have your flavorings, and the flavorings is a whole nother thing, because juice manufacturers, some of them use different ingredients. I would definitely not recommend buying any e-juice outside of the United States. I mean, you live here in the United States, buy from the United States, because the regulations from the FDA have it so our food products are relatively safe. So anyway, so you basically have propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, nicotine, okay, and then you have your flavoring. So depending on how many chemicals or whatever it is that they use in flavorings, you mainly have 4 main ingredients, and then the flavorings and whatever is in that. So let's just say, for example, there's 100 different ingredients in a flavor, which there's no way that there's that many in any of the flavorings out there. I don't care how complex they are. But just say that there is. So you're looking at what? About 104 chemicals. And that's what you're vaping through an e-cigarette. Okay, now that's just an example, and I'm probably nowhere near that because there's 4 main ingredients to an e-cigarette. I'm just trying to exaggerate it a little bit. So if you're doing 100 and inhaling 104 different chemicals, a cigarette, we already know a common average cigarette has 3 to 5,000 chemicals in it, and we know for a fact that they are killers. Not only do they kill you, but they kill people beside you that inhale the cigarette smoke. And here's proof of that. So how many people have died from e-cigarettes? And we see that there's basically none other than the exposures to the liquid nicotine. But that's people that died as a result of liquid nicotine, okay, either by drinking it or getting it all over them or something like that. And that's not as a result of the inhalation of the vapor, okay? So there's a big difference. So we remove that E, okay, and we say how many people have died from cigarettes. And what do you know? Google says each year an estimated 443,000 people die prematurely from smoking or exposure to secondhand smoke, and another 8.6 million live with a serious illness caused by smoking. Despite these risks, approximately 46.6 million United States adults continue to smoke cigarettes. So cigarettes not only kill you, but they kill people around you. And we know this to be a fact. So are e-cigarettes worse for you than smoking real cigarettes? Hell no. I mean, right here is the proof of that. If you want to go further into this, okay, so if you go to YouTube, all right, and you type in Vape Team Media, which is right here, Vape Team Media, all right, there's a video on there where they do a study in Athens, Greece, right here. I don't know if you can see that there or not. Let me move the camera up. Vaping news, seeing the effects of tobacco smoke and e-cig vapor on heart cells, okay? So this is a study that they did where they took healthy heart cells, I believe it was from mice, and they extracted like liquid from smoke and liquid from vapor, okay, from an e-cigarette, and then they exposed healthy heart cells to that liquid, and then they show exactly what happens. And I'm going to skip ahead in this video and show you, okay, this is them. So they're telling how they get the liquid and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to skip all the way back here. I mean, you can look this video up yourself. So right here they're showing heart cells, okay? The first one is going to be from, I think the very first one right there, I think that is healthy cells, I believe. I can't remember. Yeah. I think those are healthy cells, okay? Then the next slide he goes to, yeah, there goes cells that were exposed. Okay, right here he's showing, those are healthy cells, okay? That's in a petri dish. That's healthy heart cells. So you see the way that it looks, right there, just like that, all right? Now the next image that he's going to show is going to be the heart cells that were exposed to cigarette smoke, right there, and you can see there's a major difference. Everything in that petri dish is dead, thanks to the liquid that came out of cigarette smoke. So that's all the chemicals and stuff like that that's in the smoke. It killed all the living cells that was in that petri dish. So that's healthy right there. Those are healthy heart cells in a petri dish. That's what it's supposed to look like. Then the next image, he pulls it up here. Okay, this one right here is after being exposed to vaping, to the vapor, okay? So you see there's not that much of a difference between that and that, okay? Now this right here, right there, is after those cells were exposed to cigarette smoke. So everything in the dish is dead. Even these cells right here, they're blackened. These are all dead. This right here, this empty space is where healthy cell used to be, and it's all freaking dead. So the cigarette smoke murdered everything in the dish. Okay? So that's completely healthy with not being exposed to any vapor or any cigarette smoke. That's after being exposed to cigarette smoke. And if I can find it here, that's after being exposed to vapor. So you see that there's still, the entire thing has healthy cells still all in abundance in there, and everything's looking great. But then you look at the cigarette smoke exposure. If I can find this freaking video. There it is. So if you look at that, obviously everything in the dish is dead. So that's enough for me. Anyway, this video is dragging on a little bit too long. Whenever you find people on here that are talking about side effects of vaping, I mean, people that are serious, not people that are, because there's a couple of people like Indoor Smokers that have some videos that are kind of where they're kind of joking or being lighthearted about it. But the only real side effects, if you want to talk about technical side effects that some people have, some people are sensitive to propylene glycol. So that's definitely an issue for some people. Even myself, when I first started vaping, it would make me cough. It would irritate my throat. But I ended up getting used to it. I started out at like a 70 VG, okay, and then 30 PG. But now I'm a 50-50, so I do 50 PG, 50 VG, and then most of the time 10 to 20% in my flavorings and 13% on my nicotine. So that's just me, and that's just right now. I mean, that's always subject to change. But anyway, I wanted to touch base with you guys and clue you in on a little bit of this stuff in case you don't know about it, or you're new to electronic cigarettes or thinking about starting electronic cigarettes. And just let you know not to pay any attention to a lot of these goofballs out here. I think a lot of that stuff is coming from the e-cigarette industry, and I think that they're out to try to take down the vaping community, and I don't see that happening because you know, it's better for you right there. That doesn't lie, people. 443,000 plus people dying per year from tobacco products, from cigarettes. Yeah, I think that's proof is in them numbers right there. And like I said, you type in the same thing for electronic cigarettes. There we go. And you don't get anything from it. So there you go. Okay, guys, so pretty much that's really about all I have to say about this. Like I said, I was a smoker for 27 years, and e-cigs absolutely changed my life. I mean, here goes the Smoke Tech Magneto with a little iClear 16. I'm going to give this a vape, and then I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So please like, comment, subscribe, share my videos everywhere, and thanks for watching, and keep on vaping. Take care, YouTube.